Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Bruchim Haba, and we're continuing in Mishnah Berurah Daf Hashua. We're up to Siman Samach Vav, Sif Beis. I want to just read quickly Sif Katan Yud Beis on Sif Aleph, because the Mishnah Berurah is going on the Mechaber. The Mechaber said that if you're even allowed to interrupt in the middle of a pasuk to be Meishiv Shalom La'adam Nichbad, except for the pasuk of Shema Yisrael and Baruch Shem, that you should not be mafsik at all. The Mishnah Berurah says it's mashma even Kaddish, Kedusha, and Baruch Hu, you should not be mafsik. But then he says, Efshar the Ima Kriya Hayal Achar Shalosh Shoyos. It could be if the Kriya was after 3 hours, to Rak Kakari B'Torah, that it's only Kakar B'Torah, you have to be mafsik. After 3 hours, the recitation of Shema is only Kakari B'Torah. We had that svara earlier, when the Dirshu Kodrov and Sion Abba Shaul, that even though when you come into a shul and the tzibur is saying Shema, you have to say Shema with them, but not if they're saying it after the Zman, because that's not considered Kabbalas Amachos Shemayim. Here also we see that after the Zman, you could be mafsik. We had a shaila, whether if you say Krishma after the Zman, if you should think you're being Mekabel Amachos Shemayim. Yesterday Rabbi Yeager brought up that the Mishnah Berurah elsewhere quotes the Lavush, that if you miss the Zman Kriya Shema, you should still say Shema in order to Mekabel Amachos Shemayim. So that implies that after the Zman, even though you're not Mekayim the mitzvah, you're still Mekayim the inyan of Kabbalas Malchus Shemayim. Unless that's only if you didn't say it yet, so you have to at least be Mekabel Malchus Shemayim. Here, you already said it, so then your Kriya is not a Kriya of Kabbalas Malchus Shemayim. L'maisa, the lashon of the Gemara is when you say Shema after the Zman, it's Kakar B'Torah. That implies, you sort of lose the inyan of Kabbalas Malchus Shemayim. I'm not sure. Bottom line is, do you need to think that you're Makabel the Malchus Shemayim when you're saying Shema after the Zman, or let's say Friday night? Again, the Mishnah Berurah is sort of mesupik. He says the efshar. He's not definitive that it's completely Kakar B'Torah. Okay, then the Mishnah Berurah says, Imloi, unless your he's going to kill you, Dvidinayhu Kamay B'Tfilah Kamam Sim Kuf Daled. Okay, we're now up to Siv Beis. Im Shachach Laniach Tzitzis at Tefillin. Let's say you forgot to put on Tzitzis and Tefillin. Yachal Lahafsik Ben HaPrakim Lanichan. You could interrupt between the prakim and put them on. Vivarch Aleim, you could even make a bracha. Hagav Yesh Oimrim Shelo Yivarch Aleim Ad Achar Tefillah. Some say you should not make a bracha until after Tefillah. V'hachinog le'inyan talis. That's the minig legabe talis, that we don't make the bracha until after the Kriya Shema u'berchaisav. But it sounds like for Tefillin, you do make the bracha. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Im Shachach, you forgot. Oy shaya anus. You're an anus. Oy shalai hayalai tzitzis atvan. You didn't have the tzitzis or tefillin before. Or, okay, so for whatever reason, you didn't have talis tefillin before. You could put them on bein haprakim. V'im nezam lo be'emtza parak. If, let's say, you get a pair of talis and tefillin in the middle of the parak, yishem ilhanicham ad bein haprakim. Wait to put them on till bein haprakim kadesh yuchal levarch aleim, so you'll be able to make a bracha on them. Now the Dirshu asks, then in Siman Nun Daled Sivkatan Yud Gimel Smashma, you could put them on be'emtza parak, because he says im nizdamnu lo tefillin la'achar Baruch Hu, where the din is be'emtza parak, put them on right away without a bracha. That's probably specifically after Baruch Hu, before Yoitzarar. But it sounds like in the middle of a parak, you should wait to put it on until be'emtza parak. Now, it seems that we don't make the bracha on the talis until after Shemana Esrei, and we do make the bracha on tefillin. What about the bracha on tefillin shorosh? So it sounds like you would make a bracha on tefillin shorosh. What about the psukim that you say, people say ve'erastichi la'olam or umei chachmascha, that you should not say, even if you're putting it on between Yishtabach and Yotzarar? What about someone who put on tefillin koydem zmanam, where the din is when the zman comes, you need to feel them and make the bracha, and you forgot, and you realized be'emtza Krias Shema that you had not made the bracha. Don't make a bracha until after Shemana Esrei, says the Makar Chayim. I don't understand that. He quotes Rav Moshe, who says that in this case, you can make a bracha bein yishtavach lekavdish. I don't see why you shouldn't make a bracha anytime you're bein haprakim. Rav Moshe says mikanul haba is considered over lasiyasam. Meaning, it seems like there's a svara to say, well, since you're making a low-level bracha because you didn't make it at the time you're putting it on, then we don't allow you to interrupt to make it in middle. Okay.
Sam, why would you be allowed to interrupt? Brachos not active in the mitzvah. You did the mitzvah right now in the middle of davening, so why am I being ma'asik for a bracha? That's a mitzvah.
Even though a bracha is not ma'akev, but it's still a good thing. And it's no worse than, shayal mipnei ha'yira or meishav mipnei ha'kavod. In other words, there are certain interruptions you're allowed to make. So this is important enough that it, sort of meets the bill that you can make a bracha. Okay. This is all if it occurred in between Yotzer Ar or in middle of Avarabba. But if you get tefillin in middle of recitation of Shema, put on right away. Why? Ki kol teva v'teva shel Krias Shema mitzvah sheyeh alav tefillin. For each and every word of Krias Shema, it's a mitzvah to have tefillin on you. V'hahanacha tia bebracha. And the putting it on should be with the bracha. Wow. So in other words, again, let me get this clear. You forgot to put on tzitzis and tefillin. Now you got a pair. So the halacha is you make a bracha on the tefillin bein haprakim. What about the emtza haparak? So the Mishnah Berurah says wait until bein haprakim, so you can make a bracha. However, in the middle of Shema, you need to put it on right away. And it sounds like you need to make a bracha right away, even be'emtza haparak. Yeah? Is that what he's saying? That's what it seems to be saying to me, that you need to put it on be'emtza haparak. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's what it seems. Anybody have a comment on that? In other words, v'hanacha tia bebracha, to me it sounds like it's even if you're putting it on be'emtza haparak. Okay? Talis. Tzitzis einoi choivas gavra. Now the Ramah says the minhag is that some say don't make a bracha on either talis or tefillin until after Shemana Esrei, and that's what we do legabe talis. What's the difference between a bracha on talis and tefillin? Why is a bracha on tefillin less of a hefsek than a bracha on talis? Says the Mishnah Berurah, the tzitzis einoi choivas gavra. Tzitzis, there's no obligation on a person that they have to wear tzitzis. There's no chiyuv to wear tzitzis. Shemein lo talis patur mitzitzis. If you don't have a four-cornered garment, you don't have to put on tzitzis. V'yuchal likros Krias Shema b'li tzitzis, and you could say Shema without tzitzis. By the way, earlier the Dershu called Simchav Das Katan Gimel. Mishnah Berurah brings the name on the Zohar that if you say Shema without tzitzis, you're made Eidah Sheker, just like tefillin. I would say that's not b'chlal, not a question. The Zohar says that, so there's a Kabbalistic reason, but there's no halachic reason. There's no halachic reason to wear. Rav Shlomo Zalman says, even though it's made Eidah Sheker, it's still not enough of a reason to be mavarich on them bein haprakim, because it's not a chayva gemura, it's just ratzoi. Tefillin is a chayva gemura. Fine. I mean, that's a nice way of saying that, Stam, a person has to know a basic idea that there's a difference between what it says in the Gemara and what it says in the Zohar. The Gemara, there's a chiyuv midaraisa, a person has to wear tefillin. And if you don't, you're made Eidah Sheker when you say Shema. The Gemara doesn't say that by tzitzis. The Zohar says it. Certainly it's a worthy thing to do, but it would not warrant a hefsek. Okay. Therefore, Al kein mikri hafsaka idei bracha. To make a bracha on tzitzis would be considered a hafsaka. Aval tefillin du chayves agov. Tefillin, which is an obligation on the body, on the person, v'gam bilti at tefillin, who can make eidah sheker b'atzach hashem, and without tefillin it's like being made eidah sheker. She'omer ukshartam ve'inenu kosher. Al kein aktinon kedei rishayna d'loi chashiva hefsek. By the way, I have another possible distinction between tzitzis and tefillin. How could not wearing tzitzis being made eidah sheker? It's made eidah sheker because it says ukshartam. But where in the first two biblical parshas does it say you have to wear tzitzis? The third parsha. Not everybody says third parsha d'oraisa. Meaning, according to most shitas, even though we're machmer that all three are d'oraisa, but according to most shitas, only the first or the first two. So there would be no meir eidah sheker, either third parsha. Okay, anyway, that's I think another svara. V'chozel le'inyan habrach. This is all legabe. 1 second. Therefore, legabe tefillin will go like the first day that it's not a hefsek. V'chozel le'inyan habracha. This is all regarding the blessing. Aval halvisha levada mutter. But you could put on a talis. And after the davening, you'll move around your tzitzis and make a bracha. You could even put on the talis in the middle of the parak. Levad mi parak rishon shel Krias Shema, except for the first parsa of Shema. What would you say? Could you put on tefillin in the middle of the first parsa of Shema? I think so. I think he said before you could. In other words, because every single word of Shema, it's a mitzvah to have tefillin on you. Because of Pri Megadim writes the Hachinak Tinakach Ras Harama, that we conclude like the compromise of the Rama, that legabe tefillin you could make a bracha bein haprakim and even be'emtza parak, and not for tzitzis. V'hechashu yosh b'esek and zvayish leishabli talis lekulei alma yachal levarich alav bein haprakim. Let's say you're sitting in the shul and you're embarrassed to sit without a talis. Then you could make a bracha? I don't understand that. You're embarrassed to sit without a tzitzis, but who knows whether you made a bracha or not? What is the fact that you're embarrassed to sit without? You're putting on the talis. The issue is not whether you're putting on the talis, you're putting it on.
Who was putting on make a bracha? As Mandy asked before.
You're embarrassed to what?
Once you're putting it on, so make the bracha.
I know, but he already said you're allowed to put it on be'emtza parak. The levisha is not a hefsek. Now the shaila. So what's he just says v'chozel. He just said v'chozel in bracha. Levisha is mutter ula achar tefillah mashmesh. But if you're embarrassed not to wear a talis, everyone agrees you can make a bracha. Why? I'm wearing the talis already. Okay, let's see. The Dirsher has some good stuff on this. He quotes Rav Vosner that this comment comes from the Even HaEzer, who holds that you're not allowed to put on, that the levisha is a hefsek. And it's only mutter mimnei kavod habriyos. So therefore you can make a bracha. But according to the Mishnah Brura, that the atifa is always mutter, and the bracha is always asr, so even if you're embarrassed, you're not allowed to put it on. In other words, that's what we're asking. Meaning, you could read the Mishnah Brura, and you could come out that if you're embarrassed, you're allowed to make a bracha. And Rav Vosner says, no, you read it wrong. That's not what the Mishnah Brura means. The Mishnah Brura is quoting a line. That line is in an achrein who holds that wrapping yourself in a talis is a hefsek, and you're ordinarily not allowed to do it. But if you're embarrassed, then taka, you're allowed to wrap, and you can make a bracha, because according to him, there's no difference between the levisha and the bracha, because it's going in the shita, the Even HaEzer, that levisha itself is a hefsek.
It's a bit misleading the way you just were, right?
I'm asking to you, va'afarni tachas kapas raglav, but I don't. It's hard to say Mishnah Brura wrote that way. That he wrote it in a way that it's lefi the shita of the Even HaOzer, but according to what he just said, Yitaka can't make a bracha. So Reb Chaim Kanievsky has another beer in this. The other beer is, if you're stam putting it on because you want to put it on, so you're not mechuyev to put it on. Why are you putting it on? You don't have to wear tzitzis by davening. So you're putting it on. So fine, you're allowed to put it on. It's not a hefsek, but you can't make a bracha. But if you're mizbayesh, now there's an Indian of kavod abriyos, then there's a din you put it on, then you can make a bracha. I'm not sure, very interesting.
The same as bias creates the chiyuv to wear the stalos now?
It's mutter mitz.
We see by Mizvayesh that a person can even on Shabbos Kodesh without our campus, no? Without cover the and Indian.
Yeah. Can I try a third shot in this Mishnah Berurah? I want to try a third shot. The Mishnah Berurah said that Levisha is not a hefsek, but the bracha is. But what if I'm embarrassed just to put it on? Because everyone's looking at me like the guy didn't do an atifa like everybody else does. So if you're embarrassed to sit, maybe that means you're embarrassed to sit without doing an atifa. So then you're doing an atifa, then you can make a bracha. Not mashma, because it says leishev, but maybe that's why you can make a bracha.
See, similarly, he's going to be embarrassed to be the mashmish afterwards, to say a bracha. People afterwards can see, moving around the house making a bracha, similarly, but also not mashma.
Mm-hmm. Okay, speak to your people. Okay, Rabbi said, good to see everyone. We're going to keep the comments on the writing comments. Please keep just to the subject matter of the shiur. And if there are any other questions, you could contact on the email from on the site. Okay, have a good day, everyone. Bracha v'atzlacha. Kol tov.